You're all very welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Brenda. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Brenda. Hi, Santo. Hi, Phil and EJ and everybody.
Hi.
Jerry, Judy. Look at Louis.
Got his hat on there.
You're rocking that, Louis.
I think I may move to a brighter room.
Okay, cool.
That's a great plan. You are. You're fine right there. Stay right there. Judy, that is perfect. Really good. Really nice. Stay right
there. Oh, EJ's a gremlin. You're a Paddy's Day gremlin, EJ. So you might have to move to one of your other 5 laptops.
You look awesome, Judy.
You know, walking downstairs.
Judy, that's fine.
Ashley, you know what that noise?
The lighting is perfect from behind you.
What did you say, Frank?
That noise that you hear, the gremlins, it's actually a recording of Alvin and the Chipmunks.
It sounds like it's a recording of Alvin and the Chipmunks. That's a beautiful door behind you, Judy.
It is a beautiful door, and there's a beautiful lake out there and a lot of very windy trees.
Oh, is it windy? Okay, it's very a windy day.
Yeah.
Nice sweatshirt, Santo.
Thank you.
What's it say? Irish?
No, I'm not Irish. It says.
St.
Patrick. Can you read it, Mike?
St. Patrick was Italian.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very good.
We might have to have a fight. I think he was Polish.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he was Welsh.
We could have quite the debate over for St. Pat.
Well, another interesting note that the reason why we're able to do this because of someone named Marconi, who many years ago, who in the early part of the 20th century, gave the first transatlantic transmission of the rest.
Right.
But let me tell you something. What few people know is that he was actually half Irish. His mother was a Jameson, who was a member of the Jameson family of distillery, of the Jameson distillery.
They are now
so every time you drink Jameson whiskey, you're celebrating what we're able to do right now. Now, aren't you glad you asked?
Yeah.
I like your hat.
I tell you what, everybody will be very glad when after this, when they go and they reach for the Jameson now and have a little tipple. So look, we have some absolutely beautiful requests and song suggestions as ever this evening. And I'm going to go over to Mammy Brenda a few times. She has a couple of little bits ready, and at times with some of the requests, ma'am, if anything pops into your head off Squelga, then please do join in and give us cúpla focal. Yeah. So I hope you all had a nice Paddy's Day yesterday. We had quite a busy one. My husband thought it would be a brilliant idea to uproot a lot of the fence posts, and bearing in mind that we have 2 large dogs, he didn't think to buy the fencing, just thought he'd start the job and just spend the lovely day lifting up all the fence posts. So we've been keeping a very close eye on the bull mastiff to make sure that he doesn't go on a little walk down the road, because it's not the sort of dog that... Now, Seamus is much loved by all the neighbours. Everybody knows Seamus, thankfully. But even still, I wasn't a huge fan of his plan. Anyway, the sun was shining and he felt inspired. So there you go. That's what we got up to yesterday. So I'm going to jump right in, and this one it's a good one to start us off, and it is the Coolin. And I don't know, Granny, if you have anything you want to say about the Coolin while I get into my key. And this was one that Gillian had mentioned, but Gillian, you also mentioned another really good one that I'm hoping to fit in as well. So, Granny, have you got anything to say about that?
Well, in 1539 in Ireland, a law was passed that no male should wear his hair long. And they think that that edict was the instigation for the song on Coolin. Now, in the Irish language, cool means your head of hair, and fionn is fair. So, however, the words were put to this song, and they go on Vakatu and Coolin. have you ever seen the Coolan, the beautiful fair-haired one? I was a shul and a boira, and she walking on the roads. Imagine Gal Druchta on a lovely dewy morning is gone smoot a broga and not a speck on her shoes. So apparently all the young men were in love with this beautiful fair-haired woman, and that is really the version that we hear mostly now. They've forgotten about the male long-haired guys, and it focuses on a beautiful young lady with fair hair. So that's
Thanks,
what
Mum.
I know.
Did you notice all the men were tending to their gruig there, as
Yeah.
particularly Mihal, who was combing his. Yeah, I know. Yeah, a few pointers. I know, Jerry. Sorry about that. Thanks, Ma'am. The cooling to start. Thanks, Granny. I suppose while we're at it, Granny, do you want to tell me what your request was for today?
I requested the song on Spalpin Fónach. The Spalpin was a farm labourer, but very often our Spalpins, it was written in the 18th century. And in the 18th century, we had in Ireland a wonderful system of third level education called the Bardic schools. It was an unchanged system from the 4th century onwards, where young men, after 7 years, became filly, became poets. But in the course of their learning, they learned all about the Brehon laws, they became judges, they were mathematicians, fluent in Latin and Greek, and they memorized all the sagas, all the ancient stories of the invasions, and they were employed then by the great houses. But of course, when the Irish were dispossessed, the poets were no longer employed in the great houses, and they had to take work as farm laborers. And they found this very demeaning, because mostly their landlords came on high horses. They were English, the people who had dispossessed the Irish landowners. So it's a poem seething with anger. Go Joe ni rhaid go cashel ag díl na recmatlointe, nor marigan na sir am hi cashbala, am squeen share leti sroide. Bodri na tire tichtar gapel, o ifri a Willem Hirolta, o tenam kan shul, ta an cursa fada, seo her shul an Spalpin Fónach. So it is really spitting rage at the injustices that were suffered by our highly educated, erudite young men who were poets and had struggled for that. So this is the song, the Spalpeen Fáinne.
And you know what's gas is you'll get none of that from the tune. So it'll really make you rethink how you listen to traditional Irish music. Thanks, ma'am. Thanks, ma'am. A gorgeous tune. Michael, I'm going to mute per Michael. Now we have a very special guest here who's just joined us, and I'm not sure how long he's going to be able to stay with us. But Tomás McGilligode is here with us, and Tomás made this beautiful harp and let me steal it a while. And Tomás, I just want to say thank you so much, and I've fallen in love with it. And she's just such a joy to play. So actually, with your permission, Tomás, because actually Tomás is just well now. Where do we start with Tomás? A giant in the traditional music world, and I know, don't be doing that. But Mam just asked for an Spalpeen Fáinne, and it wasn't one I have to say that I was familiar with. But here we go. I'm gonna go one through again, guys, just to welcome Tomás, if that's okay. And then I know that there's one person here who I'm sure will have 100,000 million questions for you. And that's Michael. He's dying to know all about the harp. So Tomás, if you would, we'd love to know a little bit about her, if you would. And then sure, you're the guest of honor. You can stay for as long as you like, but if you have to head off, we understand. So here's another way through on Spalpeen Fáinne, if that's okay, guys. short and sweet. Tomas, thanks a million for joining us. I sent Tomas the link just on the off chance that he might be able to join us, but I'm sure you're suffering from fierce Zoom fatigue. So if you have to head off, we'll understand. Is there anything you want to tell us about your gorgeous harp? Maybe you don't want to be saying anything. I'm putting you under pressure now. You'll have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you yet.
Now.
Are you?
Not really. I suppose once they're made, I become very detached. For me, the whole experience of making them is where the whole artistic and creative and crafting and suffering and searching for that sort of sound and perfection and to say what I want to say. And once they're made, then I sort of relax a bit,
Yeah.
Never having given birth, but that's the sort of experience,
And do you want to tell us about the beautiful design here?
Yeah, that's inlay done in bog oak that was carbon dated to be 6,500 years old by Queen's University in Belfast. So in terms of context, that's maybe 1,500 years before the pyramids. 3,500 years after the last ice age. You could walk to England across the frozen sea at that time, or very low sea, I started on my second harp to do inlay with bog oak, and I sort of had various sort of Celtic squiggles. Initially, it was inspired by that Latin art. It's Celtic art style that comes from Switzerland, and it's this sort of swirling patterns, which you see sort of very, the Newgrange thing, but it's much more developed. But if you looked at art from, say, Scandinavian countries that came with the Vikings, it would be much more angular and square. This is probably boring the head off people here.
No, not at all. We have someone joining us. This is fascinating.
And so I actually worked with a design specialist called Martin Gatney, who's himself an outstanding traditional musician, to work it into some kind of recognizable icon. So that's what arrived. So it's sort of a Celtic swan come trebuchet, and it gives the name to my small business called Ala Harps. Ala is the Irish for swan. So every one of them has a swan innate into the face of them. That's older than most things in this country. That's the story behind that.
Thanks a million, Tomas. It's lovely just to get a little bit of information from yourself. And this gorgeous harp, I tell you, I collected it on Monday evening, and I just haven't been able to leave it alone since. And it's as a musician, harps have their sweet spots, and by consequence, they sort of have their weak spots, So on my concert harp, I chose it because I loved the bass on it. It had an amazing bass. And there was another harp. It was between that and another one to the day that I bought them. And I knew the one I wasn't choosing had a more even tone across the instrument, but I just fell in love with that one, and I had to have it. I couldn't leave it behind. I'm yet to find a weak spot on this harp. It just, from the top to the bottom, I tell you, it just rings, which is really saying something. And even the tension. Sorry, Jerry, what were you saying?
Sorry, I was just going to ask, is that an Irish harp? Are there different strings on that one to an ordinary harp, as it were?
So this is an Irish harp, and it's a very good question, because there would be sort of a number of camps in relation to strings in general on harps. So for instance, my pedal harp would have a combination of gut and maybe nylon at the top, and then wire strings at the bottom. There would be a group of harpers who would still to this day play on the wire strung instrument, which is completely different technique. And Tomas, you have your own. You've got your own very specific string. You were sending me the string information there the other day on these. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, just the history of that harp is that I was taught harp making by the chap who made Ashling's first harp, Colm O'Maher, in Marley Park in South Dublin, and over time I've sort of evolved. you know, looking at all the good harps in the world, probably the best harp maker, the best known would be a fellow called Larry Fisher from Winnipeg in Canada, who makes phenomenally good harps. And he sort of set the standard in terms of tone. His would be lighter than mine. So I've been searching for several years trying to produce what is in Ashton's hands at the moment. I spent 2 years and the price of a small car researching with the GMIT in the Furniture Making College in Letterfrack in Galway to articulate the technical part, where all the metal levers are at the top is for the sort of the brains of the harp are, and the soundboard is essentially the soul. So the harmonic curve can now be made exactly like that on a computer-driven CNC router, which means it's completely repeatable, so I can get exactly the same dimensions, the same precision in every harp. All the rest has to be carved by hand. But the problem with that harp is, and it's sort of, because I'm so detached, because when I made it first, I said, this is great now, and I opened the Harp Festival in Nobber in 2018 or 2019, maybe 2019 with that. And it was lovely and it was fine. And then about 2 months later it cracked. And, you know, I was quite distraught, and I had to strip it down, take everything off it and reinforce it, lacquer it back up again, another 300 quid worth of strings, and I cracked again. And then I got a friend of mine out to help me troubleshoot this. He's a mechanical engineer, very smart guy. When I met him first, actually, I nicknamed him Google because he knew everything about everything. But he actually came and gave me about 4 hours in the workshop one night, and we troubleshooting where this problem was coming from. So we finally worked it out. So I fixed it, put it back together again, re-lacquered it, another set of strings on it, and then the soundbox cracked. So I made a new soundboard for it, and the wood I use for the soundboard comes from Bergen in Switzerland, and it's only harvested in accordance with the phases of the moon. So this is esoteric.com. I mean, the stuff grows higher than the highest mountain in Ireland, and they only harvest it when the moon is in certain phases. It's a European tradition of instrument making. It's called moon spruce, and if you Google it, you'll find it there all right. So I had to ruin this beautiful soundboard. I put a brand new soundboard on it, and I strung it back up again, and it cracked again. So I had to change the construction of the soundbox then and make a more robust soundbox. So that's the second soundbox for that harp. So the harp.
So you're saying you were glad to see the back of it, Tomas, really?
No, but you can appreciate how detached I am.
Oh gosh, I can. We can hear how detached you are.
Because
I know.
I just had to get to a situation where it says I'm going to pursue this to the end of the earth till I get it right.
Yeah. And you did.
No amount of pain, no amount of trouble is going to break me in this one. I'm going to wear this down till I get it. So I got there.
You got there. Oh my God. Well, listen. Boy, did you get there is all I can say, and I'm loving it. So thanks a million. Now, I had a lovely email or message from Dermot. And are you in Paris? Or are you home, Dermot? Whereabouts are you at all?
I was missing for a couple of weeks because I was at home.
Nice.
I was traveling at that time, yeah. Okay. But I'm back in Paris now.
Okay, and how's the mammy?
Oh, great form.
Yeah.
Great form. She got her second jab.
Oh, brilliant.
She's laughing at the fact that she had no side effects, but I think half the staff in the nursing home were off sick for a day after they got their second jab. So she reckons she's bulletproof.
Oh God, so, love her. That's brilliant. That must
she'll get her passport now, and she'll be heading off to Ibiza or something. I'd say, yeah.
Smug as anything. She'll be sending you all sorts of postcards from all sorts of places, I'd say.
Oh, she will, yeah.
You had some gorgeous, you mentioned St. Patrick's breastplate.
Yeah.
And be rude not to really the week that's in it. Is there anything you want to say about why you thought of that one, Dermot? Or
it's actually a piece that when we were in school we used to have to sing, but I didn't realize there was so many different variations of it, you know.
Yeah.
But just with the week that's in it, being out here in France now and seeing every nursery school in Paris has had kids going home with shamrocks on them, and I just want to show you, sorry, just a beautiful picture.
Please do, yeah.
Sorry now. This was made for me by a little Italian girl.
Oh God.
her father is the attaché for the Italian embassy.
Ah.
And she'd be delighted now that I showed it to you, because I had a tin whistle in a box here in the house, a new tin whistle, and I sent it out over to her for the picture. Her father dropped up the picture, and he sent me a picture last night of her playing the tin whistle in the apartment. So it'd be great to be a little Italian girl bashing out Irish tunes on a penny whistle. So.
Oh, they'll love you.
Well, her neighbours won't be too fond of me, but yeah.
No, they won't. You'll be getting all sorts of pictures sent back.
I have to say one thing, Aisling, sorry, just before you go, because last week, Seamus was talking about the French festival in Port Arlington, and I actually live in Port Arlington. And just a very quick story about the French festival.
Yeah.
There was a guy who lived beside me out in the country, out a little place called Walsh Island outside Port Arlington, and he used to go down on a Honda 50, and his wife used to go down on the back of the Honda 50. And he arrived out one evening after, it was around the time of the French festival, to the pub in the country in Walsh Island. And he walked into the bar, and the barman said to me, he said, "God, there you are." He says, "Is the missus not with you this week?" And he says, "Well, she must have fallen off the bike." And she'd fallen off the motorbike on the way out from the town. And a car coming behind had picked her up and dropped her to the pub. And she walked in 5 minutes after him.
You're kidding me.
No, the two of them had a few drinks on them, so it didn't hurt her when she bounced.
Oh my God.
So that's the French festival for you in Port Arlington. Yeah.
Well, on that note,
thanks, Ashley.
I'm not sure if I should be playing St. Patrick's Breastplate at all after that now. Thanks, Dermot. Thanks, Dermot. Still can't get over that
Actually,
story.
can I just say that with Tomas listening there, the sound out of that harp is absolutely phenomenal, and
Isn't it?
that piece is absolutely beautiful. And with the great saints, his feast day this week, that's absolutely wonderful. And can I ask, can Thomas tell us which part of the country is the bog oak from? Because it's absolutely beautiful looking.
That bog oak came from East Galway, just outside Crockwell. There's a harp maker there called Brian Callan, who's a good friend of mine, and we do each other favors. So he sourced it for me and got a carbon dated as well. Well,
Tomas, between yourself and Aisling, you're a great double act. I have to say, it's absolutely fantastic. Thanks, Aisling, and happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody.
Thanks a million, Dermot. Thank you so much.
Could I tell Dermot something there? Could I tell Dermot something
go on,
there?
Seamus. Yeah, please do. We'd be disappointed it if you didn't.
Well, Walsh Island is inland. It's in the middle of County Laois, really, and a most unusual name, Walsh Island. In Irish, it would be Ilon Namrannoch, or more correctly, I'd say maybe Inish Namrannoch. But the reason that it's called Walsh Island is that that it is a very, very small piece of extremely fertile ground in the middle of the Bog of Allen. And as a result, then it got the name of an island for being so fertile.
Okay, one thing, Seamus, you'd be hung out there if you said it was County Laois. It's County Offaly. And
well, of course, I'm from Portlaoise. I'm from Portlaoise.
You're laying claim to the land already. But the Walsh Island is famous for one thing. It was never on a map when I bought a house in Walsh Island in 1999. But it was actually to Offaly people, it's holy ground because it's where the Connors family came from.
That's right. Yeah.
The 82 football team.
Yeah. I knew the Connors because when I played football there, I played against Matt and Liam back in those days. Finally, where do you work? Where do you work, Dermot, in Paris?
I'm connected with the OECD, Seamus.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm connected with the embassy in the OECD.
Yeah, and my daughter works in the embassy in Washington, D.C.
There you go. Small world.
Okay. My cousin's there, Seamus. Take care.
Who's your cousin? Who's your cousin there in Washington?
I know, lads. That's why there's a chat box. Honest to God, this is a concert. Actually, Tomas Ger is saying there, she's from Crockwell, and she may well know them. So do check out the chat because I can see it all hopping past me. But I like to read back at the end once I've survived all of these. Now, Jerry and Jenna, you had a lovely request. It was I found it it's in the O'Neill collection, excuse me, The Dear Little Shamrock, and I'd love to know why you thought of it. It's not one that I was familiar with, and it's beautiful, really pretty.
I was just harping back again to my primary school days in the 60s in the rural country school, and we would have learned The Dear Little Shamrock around St. Patrick's Day. I still know 2 verses of it pretty good, and I thought it would sound nice on the harp.
Go on, give us a go there, Jenna.
There's a dear little plant that grows in our isle. 'Twas St. Patrick himself sure did set it, and the sun on his labour with pleasure did smile, and the dew from his eyes often wet it. It shines through the bogs, through the brake, through the moorland, and they call it the dear little shamrock of Ireland, the dear little shamrock, the sweet little shamrock, the dear little sweet little shamrock of Ireland.
You have a gorgeous voice, Jenna. My God. Round of applause. I'm not sure I should follow that, but maybe I'll do a verse to follow. That was beautiful.
Thank you. My voice is terrible, so that's why I stayed quiet.
Sorry, what did you say, Jerry?
My voice is terrible, so that's why I stayed quiet.
So we won't ask you to do the next verse. So okay, fair enough. I tell you what, I'll take that pressure off you, and I'll give a verse on this. Thanks a million.
Thanks a lot.
Absolutely gorgeous. The dear little shamrock, just so pretty. Thanks a million for that. This is what I love about this, us getting together. Is just all these lovely kind of tunes and songs and things that I would never think to put together into the one program, and we get to have a chat and find out the why of it. Now I'm going to have a look here. And this next one, Santo, you had some very good ideas for today, and I have down by the tan yard side here. And I don't know if there's anything you want to tell us about it and why you thought of it, but I'm going to get myself into. Oh, I'm already in the right key, so I'm sorted. How are you,
Well,
Santo?
this is a song I think I first heard. Can you hear me, people?
We can, yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Well, you have to look at me too, but that's something I can't help.
We look forward to seeing you on a Thursday.
Thank you. This is a song I first heard on a CD by the Greenfields of America. And it actually has a rather sad, as happy as the melody is, has a rather sad lyrics because it's about someone who falls in love with a young woman who sells fish, I believe, done by the 10-yard side. But it reminds me of something that someone once told me. She belonged to a Celtic group who would sometimes come here to a local festival. She said she knew a man who said, "My mother is Irish, my father is Scotch. You want Scots, sorry. You want a sad song or a very sad song?" And I think this is pretty much what that says. I just love the melody. And of course, the first part where he describes the girl, her lovely hair and ringlets fair, rolled on her snow white neck, and the tender glances of her eyes could save a ship from wreck. Her two red lips are smiling, her teeth so pearly white, that could make a man become her slave down by the 10-yard side. I just love the melody, and of course, like I said at the end, where her parents reject him and he goes off, and then he says, "If ever I come back again, I'll make her my bride." Like, duh. What makes you think she's gonna wait? Duh. But still, it's a great song.
Thanks.
Oh, and one other thing I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
Concerning St. Patrick's Day, and this will be the end of it, that few people know that St. Patrick's Day is a national holiday in Mexico. Did you know that? Oh, you did?
I saw it recently. Yeah, I only saw it recently, very, very recently this year, in the lead up to this year's Paddy's Day. Is it the only other country where it's a national holiday, I think?
I'm not sure, but the reason is, of course, is because of what they call the San Batistos, the St. Patrick's Battalion, who were Irish, who fought with them against the Americans during the Mexican-American War.
Okay.
And unfortunately, they had actually deserted from the U.S. Army because they were maltreated. And when the U.S. won the war, they were hung as deserters. And their leader, John Riley, well, no, they were hung as traitors, and their leader, John Riley, was punished and then branded with a D on his cheek.
Oh dear.
For deserter. After that, no one knows what happened to him. But like I said, that was just a little interesting fact that most people had ever heard of.
Thanks for that, Santo. I hope you enjoy this. I hope I have the right melody. You can tell me after if I find the right one. I have to do a fair bit of rummaging for my Thursdays, which I delight in. But there is always a moment if it's a song I'm not familiar with.
It's going to be beautiful. No, it's going to be great. So just relax and enjoy.
Thanks, Santo. Here you go. So now let's see how we're getting on. Where to next? So many beautiful ones. Louis, you had a lovely request in for today. How are you getting on? And you've started a bit of a trend with the hat, actually. I saw even Circus had a hat on, and
That's
I'm
right.
sure other people were wondering, darn it, why didn't I leave a hat within reach? Maybe we should have a hat party for next week, because it's the last. Oh,
I just thought,
Michael's nodding. Yeah.
Oh my God! Oh yeah. I started a trend. I know I have. It's probably
Dara
about
has a
2
hat.
sizes too small for me, but I
Dermot's
usually
got a hat.
volunteer.
Look what you've done.
Oh yeah. So I normally volunteer, Aisling, with the St. Patrick's Day Festival here in Dublin each year,
Right.
and
really? Wow, that must be so
obviously
interesting.
it hasn't. Nothing happened this year. Yeah, well, I've done it about maybe 3 or 4 times in the past, but I usually put this on to for the occasion, so I thought it'd be
What does
suitable this
volunteering
evening.
usually involve, Louis? What do you generally
Well,
do?
it's generally stewarding, just sort of ushering people into the stands and helping the Gardaí. It's a great day out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So, but I know earlier we had a bit of a discussion. We weren't too sure where St. Patrick came from, but I think we're all fairly happy that he's buried up in Downpatrick, up in County Down, and I chose the Mountains of Mourne as a song. It's an old Percy French number, and I suppose being from the north, now it sort of resonates with me. But it's about this guy who's emigrated to London, and he's writing or telling his girlfriend back in a village in County Down about his time over there. And it's a lovely, lovely tune, where the mountains of Mourne sweep down to the sea. And there's one particular section of it, just I have the words of it here, and it says, you remember young Peter O'Loughlin, of course. Well, now he is here at the head of the force, the police force in London. I met him today. I was crossing the Strand, big busy street in London. And he stopped the whole street with a wave of his hand. And there we stood talking of days that are gone, while the whole population of London looked on. So I think it's a lovely image of these 2 young County Down fellas holding up the whole city of London.
It's beautiful. Yeah, no, thanks a million, Louis. It's a gorgeous one. And I can't remember the last time I played this. But it's it's one actually that I have loved since childhood. I always remember, hearing this one, and it always caught me. So thanks. It's lovely to have an opportunity to play.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll sound great on the traditional harp there. That looks a lovely instrument now.
I love this bloody harp, I tell you. Just listen, like, I wish I could bring you all here so you could feel how even the resonance is across the instrument. Anyway, I hope it's transferring okay over there.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
Off you go.
The Mountains of Mourne.
Yeah, that was lovely, Aisling. Thanks very much. And thanks to Tomas now for producing such a beautiful instrument.
I know. Yeah. I love it. I have to say, I really do. And another thing that I find really interesting with this is I have a big sound and a big pull and a big, I'm a big player and I'm used to a big harp. And I can really play into it. It's just so comfortable to play. I'm so used to having to hold back on an Irish harp, and I don't have to on this. I don't know. It's a toughie McGuffey, this harp, I tell you that. Anyway, I'm going to move this a little bit out of the way.
Aisling, can I come in there for a second?
Please do. Yeah, please do.
Give a shout out. I just spotted Colm O'Fowler in the corner of my screen.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember Colm. I think I actually played the music of the first mass he wrote.
Go away.
Before he was famous.
I'm still waiting for that bit now. It's like,
you're waiting for the money, Colm, but you're famous.
Infamous.
And it's just, I've been tracking his. I know Noreen O'Donoghue plays with him. He does the gigs in the National Concert Hall. She's his guest harpist, but just so impressed with his development as a composer over that time. Just such talent out there. But it's just great to see Colm here tonight and to be aware of his music over the last probably 20 years or more. When was the first mass you wrote, Colm? You were in.
God, was it 1994?
It must have been because I moved from there in 96. So
yeah, it was before that. So yeah, 94, 95 maybe. Yeah. Long time ago. In fairness, and Noreen broke her arm and dislocated her shoulder bringing the dogs for a walk. And enter Aisling Ennis to save the day and play in the concert hall. And Noreen actually, for a change, got to sit in the audience and actually hear, as opposed to just her component of it. But that's how myself and Aisling first started doing a bit together. So it's all connected.
All connected. And actually, this is a lovely opportunity for me to play one of your slip jigs, Colm. So Colm very kindly sent across some slip jigs to me earlier in the week. And so I'm going to play one now. It's Wave at Moira. It's a beautiful tune. And I need to spend more time with it and getting to know it. So I'm not sure I'm going to do it justice. But, like I've said it before, but like Colm, you're just so incredibly generous, with your talent and with your compositions, and it goes above and beyond. And we have really enjoyed them here. Tomas, Colm wrote a beautiful piece within the blue, which I played a number of weeks ago, and it's just incredibly beautiful. And I think it's easy for us to not realize how blessed we are to have you with us, Colm. And I pinch myself that you're a regular harp o'clocker.
Stop.
No, I mean it. You must be mad. You're mad. Anyway, I'm delighted that you're here with us, and a perfect segue to play Wave at Moira. So if you know a Moira, you have to wave at her now, okay?
There's a cautionary tale here, because the first tune's called Wave at Moira. Second tune is called Don't Forget to Wave at Moira, because Moira Brannock used to live on Tyrconnell Road. And I used to drive past her house. And if there was ever musicians in the car, I would say to them, wave at Moira. Only one day we were obviously doing something else and we didn't wave at Moira, and I drove into the back of a car. So that's why the second tune is called Don't Forget.
Oh dear, and I haven't learned Don't Forget to Wave at Moira yet. So God knows what might happen. It's very dangerous. I didn't realise it came with a health hazard. Oh no, okay, right. Well look, I'll get cracking on Don't Forget to Wave at Moira, and then we'll all be safe again. Thanks, Colm. Japers. It would help if I was in the right key, wouldn't it? This is the thing when you're used to pedals. You get first lazy with your levers. Right, I'm in the correct key now, I promise. To be continued. Thanks, Colum. It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I need to work on it though. Right. Here we go. Back to my list. See who's up next. Is Emer with us? Emer, are you with us? I wonder. No, I don't see you. Okay. We'll see if Emer joins us, and I'll keep moving on. So many gorgeous ones. Frank, how are you getting on? And you've got your hat and everything.
I have, and now it says 70 on that, but this hat is a few years old. So I'm not telling you how old it is, but well, actually it's 7 years old. So I'm not giving it away now. It will be in May. Yeah. Now, what did we come up with? Can't remember what I.
You had suggested "I Love Hope."
Oh yes, yeah. I think it's a beautiful piece of music, and it's the commemoration of the opening of Ellis Island, where so many of the Irish got their feet on America for the first time. I came across this many years ago when I was on the road. I was repping, and I'd always find a pub someplace where there was a good bit of music. And there was a pub down in Killarney, and there's a group called Onora, and a fabulous girl singer with the group. And that's where I came across that. So I actually have their CD. And the guy playing piano, Brendan O'Connor was his name. He actually does the accompaniment for the Rose of Tralee every year.
Oh, okay.
He's a brilliant musician, actually. So that's my story. Just want to say about the harp. Since I started coming to these concerts, I've broadened my knowledge of the harp. When I started off, my knowledge of the harp would be something coming from the revenue office, which would have the stamp of a harp on. And the other thing would be, the other knowledge of harp would be a well-known brewery in Dundalk, which made a lager. So I have a whole new outlook now on harp, and thanks a million for that. Really appreciate it.
Oh, well, Frank, thanks for being with us. Thanks for being with us. I'm delighted to hear that. It's a beautiful song, and I'm not sure that I've ever played. It's a song that it would be, again, in accompaniment mode, generally. So it's interesting to get to play it. I was trying to remember what key I was playing it in earlier, but anyway, I've chosen a key, and we'll see what happens. And I have to give a big shout out to the Berliners who are watching, and just the second you turn your back there, Berliners. And nice to see Dara, you've got the hat on the shamrock. Jeepers, and sure Dad has a mask on and everything. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, thanks for joining us, Berliners. Do we have the birthday boy? Oh, we do. I barely recognize you, Tom. My God. Tom is all grown up now, guys. Tom's birthday was yesterday. Father's Day. We'll have to do a happy birthday for you. But here we'll do I Love Hope first, and then we'll get back to you. Thanks a million, Frank. Thanks a million, Frank. It's a beautiful one. A really lovely one.
Thank you. Love that. Thanks a million.
Thanks. Now, are we all doing okay? Tell you what, Thursdays cure me. That's what they do. Now, Seamus, you had mentioned on Pucker Bulla, but you know what? I found a fabulous recording of Seamus Ennis giving this a go. And if it's okay with you, I will share that with everybody with the video link for this evening. But how are you getting on, Seamus?
I'm doing fine. I'm just curious, did you really call your dog Seamus?
I did, yeah. Yeah, Seamus is a fabulous name.
I know that. All right, lad. Let's have on Pucker Bulla.
I will send it. I will send it in the email with the video link. I'm afraid to share video.
No. That's fine.
My laptop was acting up. You see, Seamus. Do you remember when?
Yeah. As it happens, most people might know the story, but Seamus Ennis, a traditional piper from around Finglas, I think, but he absolutely hated the bodhrán. And one night in a concert, he said, "There's only one way to play a bodhrán." What's that, Seamus? With a penknife.
Fair play, Seamus.
Right. Okay, we'll get it again. That's okay. All right. Okay.
Thank you. Now, EJ, I have one of yours. I have Shenandoah here for you. I can't remember if I played this season or not. I was choosing from your list, and I was trying to keep things along folk lines this evening. Can we hear you? Oh, I think you're still a gremlin. Yeah, you're a very quiet gremlin, but.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you. Phew.
Yes, okay, good. All right. I wanted to say about the Isle of Hope.
Yes.
That my grandfather arrived at Ellis Island in 1895. And my dear Aunt Margaret, my dad's sister, had a rubbing of the name. There's a big park there now. So anyway, just for your information. So, okay.
Gosh, yeah. So that's that drives it all home for us, you know. Wow.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's I've been enjoying the music today, of course, and the commentary, which is also outstanding. But I just want to make sure that I thank you for this second season of Harp O'Clock. It's been a wonderful experience for me, and anyway, so again, thank you for that so much. So
gosh, EJ, I can tell you the gratitude. The road is tarred in both directions. I can tell you that. I adore our Thursdays together. And should we still have next week? We should have definitely. Let's have a hat party. I think for next week. And you can go mad on the request. See if you can make me cry. So I have.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Oh.
No, nothing much. I don't know. I think you had played Shenandoah fairly recently, so you could move on from me to someone else because you've got a full list today. But I'm just enjoying this. I'm going to look up Isle of Hope because it really it's a beautiful song and it's going to mean a lot. I'm going to pass it on to my brother John, who sings sad Irish songs, but that's a very beautiful melody. It's a very
it's so beautiful. It really is so beautiful. I'll send that information to you.
Okay.
In the meantime, yeah. It's a keeper. So what will I do? I'll do a little bit of Shenandoah. I'm having a look here. I want to see who's with us because I'm conscious that I don't think Emer is with us. Maybe. No. Okay. Not to worry. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to have a quick scan here. Right. Okay. Well, then, now, Dad wasn't with us for a week or two. And this has been on the stand for a while for poor Dad, who often, as we know, poor Dad sort of gets shunted to the side sometimes because he keeps a low profile and doesn't cause a fuss, man a few words. Hard to fit them in between myself and Mum. But anyway, so Dad, here's Bool of Oak for you. Cool. Thanks, Dad. Loving the hat. Now, Dad has some collection of hats. My God, there's a wall in the house that's covered with Dad's hats. So I don't think you realise what you've started, Louis. There aren't enough seasons of Harp O'Clock to help Dad get through his hat collection. That's all I'll say. The Berliners are nodding emphatically in agreement with that last statement. So now, I'm going to get my little list here. Ger, you mentioned one summer in Dublin by Bagatelle, and you know it's funny. I was hoping to find the dots.
Good timing there. Sorry, I was on the phone, so I had to miss some of it.
Sorry.
You're grand.
Were you back?
Yeah, they're back now. Yeah, literally just put the headphones on and switch them back on again.
Phew. Yeah. Oh, EJ's back in the house. Lads, the hats. Oh, there's an echo somewhere. Hold on. There you go. So you had mentioned summer in Dublin.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to find the dots. And this is what I find so interesting, because obviously it's one that I would know. It's a great song. But then it's one thing to know it, and it's another thing to know it, to play it.
Oh yeah, God, I'm sure.
So we'll see what happens. My ear at this stage is full of all the tunes, but it's a great one. So I thought it would be a shame not to have it.
I love that you're totally winging it. Like, I thought you were going to say, but we'll play something else. Not like, we'll give it a go.
Oh no. Feet first.
Love it.
Is there anything? Does this have any particular memory for you, or was it just one that popped into your head?
No, it's one that I liked. I actually did some photographs for them a few years back in Vicar Street, and they ended up using some pictures on their tour posters in recent years as well, which was quite cool. And it was always a song I just enjoyed of theirs. But yeah, just a good song.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Thanks a
Cool.
million, Jer.
Thank you.
I hope you
Cheers.
had a nice, relaxing. Oh, actually, sorry, guys. Jer saved a teddy. She went viral today. She took a photo of a teddy bear that was left outside it was a Killiney Dart Station.
Yeah, by the entrance to the beach at Killiney Dart Station.
Oh, sorry, by the entrance to the beach near Killiney Dart Station. And the teddy had been wrapped in a towel. And Jer was concerned for the teddy. And so she took a photo and she put it up on Twitter. And how many times has it been liked or shared? Or
it actually didn't go as viral as the one yesterday, but it's got about, I think it's like 180 likes so far, so it's not technically viral, but Love in Dublin, which is a big site, featured it, and they were like, how to get in touch.
They wrote an article about it.
Yeah, they did, and they said to get in touch with me, and I was like, I don't actually have the teddy, so I had to go and rescue the teddy to have the teddy now.
So Jer took a photo of a teddy, went home to make a cup of tea. In the meantime, an article was written about the teddy saying that Jer had the teddy. So Jer had to go back and get the teddy so that, they wouldn't think, yeah. Anyway, so you still have the teddy?
I still have the teddy, and I got a message then from a radio station that want me to talk about it tomorrow at 11:30, so yeah.
That is gas.
Mental.
What are you going to say?
I have no idea. I don't even know what they're going to ask me. Like, I have no idea what they're going to say.
What's the radio station so we can all tune in?
East Coast FM. It's their morning show at, I think, 11:25. They said they're going to ring me. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's brilliant.
I know.
Doing a good deed. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick tune of 2 strings, and then we'll give it a lash. Thanks, Jer. A lovely one.
Thank you. That was fab. And on that harp too, it sounds amazing. Like I'm sure it
love
would have
this.
sounded fantastic.
I tell
Another
you
one
what.
too, but yeah.
I'm
Cool.
selling the pedal harp, guys. Don't tell Granny. I just love it. Anyway, thanks, Jer. And keep us posted on Teddy. Maybe I'll send a picture of Teddy, the towel photo, so everyone can see.
I actually put up another picture of it tucked up under a blanket now to keep everyone posted. Couldn't keep it in the boot all night, so yeah.
No, gosh, that'd be terrible. After rescuing it from, you know, the bowels of Killiney Beach, you couldn't do that. Put it in the boot. That'd be terrible. Now, Micheál, we're gonna break the pattern, and we're gonna have another one of your Brothers Grimm to complete the evening. And we may have to revisit one or two of the bonus requests for next week. How are you getting on, Michael? I'm loving the hat.
Did you call the Bee Gees the Brothers Grimm?
Yeah.
Gibb.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I do that. Sorry, I meant to say the Brothers Gibb. My closest friends know this about me, that if I'm trying to say somebody's name, I will always get one bit wrong. I'll either get the first name or the surname wrong. And my closest friends will know who I mean, because I'll always get it wrong. But the closest ones they'll do the mathematics and they'll figure out who I'm talking about. So sorry about that. The Brothers Gibb, not the Brothers Grimm. That's a different show.
So I have a little bit of housekeeping here, Ashley.
Okay,
first.
understandable. Yes.
First of all, you and I are in big trouble with Lenore because she just got home with groceries, and I told her it's almost my turn, so I can't come and carry him up the steps. So I got to stay in this room the rest of the day. Secondly, how you doing? How you feeling, dear? How did you take fence posts out with all the music yesterday? How you feeling today?
Yeah, good. I had a bit of a tricky headache yesterday, but it's gone today, so I'm pleased for that. And nothing like lifting a few fence posts to take your mind off a headache.
Okay, and here's my next thing. I always have show and tell. This is your mother's initial comments were about hair were a perfect segue to this, because with full disclosure, last week that I actually wear glasses and I actually don't have a goatee. This is my natural hair as it appears. And it's you can talk to Lenore in the morning, it's more, I don't know how, but anyway, I can only get it to stay combed back in what's called the classic if I put this gel on it.
Right.
And the classic, if you want to know, my stylist told me that was the style of Joseph Stalin, and he rocked the classic better than anybody in history.
Right. Okay.
I can't even come close to Stalin's.
I don't think you want to now. In
Classic.
fairness, I don't think that's not a look I'd suggest for you, Micheál.
Okay, and I don't know if you and I'm sorry, I always want to say it's like jar. I don't know if you and recall, but I have a huge worldwide announcement today for you.
Okay, we're waiting with bated breath, Michael.
Okay, I'll try to make it quick. But first of all, I want to tell your brother, is it pronounced Derek?
No, he'd lynch you for that. It's Dara. It's spelled Darach, but he says Dara.
I still didn't get that. You said the same thing.
I know,
Dark?
I'm sorry.
Anyway, I want him to know I have serious Shamrock envy.
Oh yes. Okay, the green screen Shamrock.
And Aisling, I did not tear this up because of that B-52 song.
Love Shack.
Love Shack. I did not tear this up because of Love Shack, but I might tear it up because of your brother's Shamrock.
Oh dear, don't do that. That's very dramatic. You'll
Okay,
miss it next week.
Here's my huge announcement.
Okay.
I don't know if you know, but my top 25 and my top 10 usually change once a year, but that is subject to change at any time. And, oh, by the way, sorry about coughing. Did that throw you off?
No.
It was not his fault, but do you mind if we blame Santo? Because he did not mute me.
Yeah, we'll blame
Okay,
Santo.
it wasn't his fault, but we'll just blame him.
I didn't know how to mute you. I didn't know how to mute you.
Okay, well.
Blame it on me. Go ahead, blame it on the Italian.
You're the one that.
Are you feeling okay, Mike?
You're the one that told me about affinities, so. Actually, I owe you. I should move there and be your butler for the rest of your life. Okay, Ashley, here's my big announcement. You probably recall when I first announced that Affinity Music, which by the way, today is our 4-month anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary to you. And you probably remember when you vaulted from nowhere, you, Marion Emer, you vaulted from nowhere to number 5.
Crazy.
Okay. And then just about a week or two after that, you were in a 4-way tie for number 1.
That's madness.
Okay. So I'm not going to give you my whole top 25 or whole top 10, bore everybody. But starting with number 7, the Beatles haven't been demoted, but they're number 7 now. They used to be number 2.
But then they have been demoted. If they were 2 and now they're 7, that's.
Well, actually, what happened, it's nothing against them. The Bee Gees leapfrogged them because you know how close they were. So the Bee Gees are now number 6 and holding. After you played Black Diamond, that influenced me. See how easy it influenced?
So it's my fault they've been demoted. It's my fault the Beatles were demoted.
Maybe.
Okay.
But then ABBA is holding fast at number 5. Okay, I never liked having ties, and I've had a 4-way tie.
It dilutes the process, doesn't it? Having a tie.
Yeah, I don't like having a tie, so I had to break the tie. 4-way tie with Affinity, Amadeus, Electric Quartet, who Santo knows, out of Romania, Enya, your beloved neighbor, and of course my beloved Moody Blues from 1966. I had to break that, and it was heartbreaking. I had to do a lot of meditating, a lot of prayer, a lot of medication. And so I decided, as hard as it is, I've had to put Enya number 4. Please don't tell her. And the reason for that is it's not just the music, it's not the number of originals, it's not the discography, but it has a lot to do with the kind of person they are. And Enya's absolutely a lovely person, but it also has to do how much I yearn to get to know that person and meet them and be with them and be a friend of theirs. So Enya, poor Enya's number 4. That doesn't mean I love her music less.
It does a little bit because you put her at number 4.
Oh, well, okay.
A small bit.
All right. You notice I haven't requested her lately. I think you kind of banned me from any.
No, there's no ban. Listen, I played Love Shack on a harp. I'm in no position to negotiate.
You know? And I really don't hold that against you, that Love Shack thing. I hold it against Gur for repeating it, but
she holds the fact that you call her Gur against you, so it's even, you know.
Jur.
Yeah.
Hey, could she change your spelling to J-E-R, please?
I'll ask her. I'll put in a word. I'm not sure. I'll ask her.
Does she have a twin brother or sister named Jar?
No, that'd be strange.
Okay. All right. So moving right along, the most difficult decision I've made in my life.
Yes.
Was between number 2 and number 3, not number 1. But I could never put my number 3 group ahead of the Moody Blues. And they were tied before Affinity came along. They were tied with the Moody Blues for number 1. Yeah. Okay, so my beloved 4 ladies from Romania, the Amadeus Electric Quartet, are now number 3.
My goodness. Okay, go on. Keep going.
Okay, yeah. Drum roll. And I'm probably going to get lightning strike me down from heaven.
No, it's good.
It's good. You'll all see me burned to a crisp.
No, it's brilliant. I like it. I approve. Go on. Number 2.
But 1960, 2001 minus 1966 is what, 55 years?
Yes.
So for the first time in history, the Moody Blues are number 2.
You didn't do it.
I did do it, dear.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the other thing. Michael, are you sure?
By default.
Before you announce it, just take a moment. Okay, you're at the altar here.
I know. By default, and I'm so happy to say this in front of your beloved mother, father, and brother, and nieces and nephews, and whoever else is there. Affinity, is it called Affinity Music? #1 band in history right now.
No way. Look, the hands are going up. You're getting rounds of applause. People are falling off their chairs, Michael.
On our 4-month anniversary, Aisling. And here's the way to remember that, okay?
Okay.
You don't have to remember March 18, but remember 4 months back to November 18 was when Santo Jack, who I need to be his butler and his chauffeur the rest of his life, introduced me to you inadvertently. I don't even think he planned to. And just always remember that was 10 days after I turned 70. And the way you can remember that is by Frank's hat,
right,
which he needs to mail to me. I'll give him my address later. So 3/18/21, Affinity Music #1.
Michael, honest to God.
Dear, that is in granite. That's immutable. That will remain the remainder of my 9 years on this planet.
What do you mean the remainder of your 9 years on the planet?
Well, I don't think I'm going to make my daddy's age of 80. Unless Aisling, and you're going to love my sister Patty, and this is my last show and tell. You're going to love my sister Patty. Actually, you got to look here.
Oh, you've got it. Very good. Very good.
This is by the son of the Forks Over Knives men.
Yes.
My doctor wants me to undergo the knife and have this stuff cut off. My wife is dead set against that. So are you. So is my brother Tommy.
I think the answer is in plants. I think plants are good. Mom has a saying, eat food, not too much, mostly green. It's a good one.
I had an avocado for breakfast this morning.
That's green. That counts.
It was overly ripe.
Oh, there's no such thing. As in, was it black? Was it gone?
No, it wasn't black. It just had a little brown in it. But okay, so you're going to do another lady's request today, lady's choice.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I got it in the chat room. I have to guess what song it is.
Well, I can tell you, but you didn't like when I was about to tell you what it was last week.
I know, but okay, but Black Diamond was last week, so this is one of two.
Yes.
All right, you start playing and I'll guess. Okay. We know it's Bee Gees.
Yes, not the Brothers Grimm.
No.
No.
Okay.
Michael, you are 1 in a million. We'd be lost without you.
Thank you, dear. I'm going to mute myself this time.
Okay, good.
Since Santo doesn't know how yet?
No, I don't think he can. I think I'm the only person who can, actually mute other people.
Well, then we're going to blame you for coughing. That's Murphy's Law, and he was not Irish. He was American.
Okay. Thanks, Michael. Michael, everybody, is just a legend in our midst. Here we go. Thanks a million, Michal. Thanks, Michael. Guys, listen, thank you so much as ever for this evening. You're an absolute cure. And I'm conscious that there were some, additional choices or maybe some requests that we haven't got to. I could stay here all night, but maybe we should quit while the going is good. And sure, we'll be here next week. And if you want to wear a silly hat, if you want to give me a mad request in the meantime, and see if I can give it a lash, if there's anything that you think might get a laugh, or anything goes, that's the way of it. So be sure to get in touch, and I will send a link. The hats are even changing. I can't keep up with the hats. I will be sure to send a set list. And Tomas even has a hat now. I love it. Oh, your gas, guys. I love it. I love it. I'm sure Fergus is changing his hat and everything. I don't know. So I'll be sure to send the set list for today, and I'll send the picture of Jer's teddy. And what else was I going to do? Some information on Isle of Hope, and a lot of stuff that we might have missed in our chat this evening. So don't worry, I'll get all of that information to you.
What about Teddy?
Hiya, Jerry.
Yeah, what about Teddy?
Teddy?
Yeah.
Yes, no, absolutely. I'll be sure to include an update on Teddy whenever Teddy gets rehomed. Sure, what have you gotten yourself into? And I must finish with a song for the birthday boy over in Berlin. And with that, I bid you a good night. Here we go. Let's see what happens. And you can all sing along, and he won't be able to hear you, but at least he can see you. You don't have to. You can mime because you're muted. So. Yay! Happy birthday, Tom! It's 15, guys. It's crazy. Remember when you were a little bad, Tom? Right, everybody, thank you so much, and enjoy. I hope it sets you up, nicely for your weekend, and looking forward to next week. Thank you so much. Bye.
Take care.
Bye, everybody. Thank you, Santo, and another great hat. Bye, everybody. Take care.